Welcome to Victoria, Texas. The In Wheel Time gang is here. Behind the camera is Mr. Mike Mars. Standing next to me is the lovely Leslie Nikierko. Don Armstrong here. Glad you could join us in Victoria. This is the county seat, and I guess the county courthouse is over there. You can't see it right now, but Mike's going to point the camera down there, give you an idea. So this is the Old Town Square, and I wouldn't say old because, well, it's a hopping place down here. They've also built a new pavilion back over here to the right, Mr. Mars, and that's where the symphony is getting all tuned up and ready to play. We're just getting ready for the festivities down here to welcome the Hot Rod Tour of Texas, and officially things get underway at 6 o'clock. And I'll tell you what, this is a big change from the last two Hot Rod Tours that we've done, because the Hot Rod Tour of Texas has apparently made enough money where they've bought themselves a trailer down here, a white trailer, and they got it all lined up. We got QR codes to get checked in here, and as you can see, lots of cars all the way around the square here. Everything from Model A's, we saw that earlier, to some real true hot rods, like this one right here, Lucille. See Lucille? That's a real hot rod there. Wish I had that. But we also have the usuals, the usual suspects. We got Jeremy's yellow truck, and then right around the tour here, see it? Can you see it? I don't know whether you can or not. It says Hot Rod Tour on the windshield header over here. On the Edsel, well, you know who that is. That's Bobby Sparkman. He kind of heads up all this stuff. But we've got cars from all over the state of Texas, and I think even beyond. 350 cars are registered out here to do the tour. Watch out. This is a bad Camaro right here. You used to have a Camaro.
I had a Camaro just like that.
Yeah, that's a very nice looking and sounding.
Yeah, 69.
Is that 68? Is that
69.
Thing? Okay. Well, you know, that's a 57. I got that one. Yeah, I had a friend of mine had that. Ronnie Green had that. Ronnie Green grandmother's car.
Oh.
But at any rate, people are pouring in to downtown Victoria, and it's going to be a great evening. We've got the symphony, as I mentioned, and all of the restaurants and the bars around the square here, they're open for us to imbibe.
And we will.
And we will. We're looking forward to that.
We are.
This is the wine drinker, so she's going to sample some fine Victoria wine.
I'll let y'all know.
And based on my history of what happened last night, I don't know as if I'll be imbibing in anything. I've been suffering today, but I made it here. It's been a long process. And by the way, if you don't know where Victoria is, it's 100 miles, about an hour and a half or so, southwest of Houston, Texas. And spot on the money. We're staying, I don't know, about 5 miles outside, out there by the highway. And I think almost all the hotels are jam-packed here. Looking forward to a great event that kicks off tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Let's see that. What is it? Oh, here you go. Come this way, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's got a blower in it. You can hear the wine from here. That's WHINE. Yeah. Woo! Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call a real hot rod, with a blower sticking out of the hood. Well, it didn't have a hood, did it? But at any rate, so the events start at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We actually meet up, I believe, around here somewhere, and we all pull out of here. Oh, wow. Here's another fine ride. We can sample them coming in now. You can hear them a mile away. Yes, sir. Very nice. He knows what he's doing.
Don, I don't think you realize it, but I am shopping for my next car.
Well, this would be the place to do it, although I don't see any for sale signs yet. I'm sure that everything is for sale if the price is right. But at any rate, we head out tomorrow, and we head up toward New Braunfels. We're going to have a stop at the Shiner Brewery for lunch, and then we end the evening in New Braunfels and the Stars and Stripes Drive-In, and we get to see Smokey and the Bandit there. And then on Saturday, we head out, and we head up toward Fredericksburg, Texas, and we party up there that night. Well, some people will. I'm probably going to try to fix the bad feeling that I have right now. But at any rate, the tour continues on Sunday, We'll stay the night there up there in Fredericksburg, and then Sunday afternoon we'll be heading back. The weather's supposed to kind of turn ugly on Sunday, so we're going to try to beat it back to Houston. But at any rate, it's a great event. This is our 3rd annual, and we're looking forward to it. And we think that you will too, because Mr. Mars is going to be shooting a lot of video, and we're going to have one of the stops. We're going to return to Samson's Performance up there outside of San Antonio. This is a beautiful 57. Nice car. Nice car.
Nice.
We had a trio of trucks out at the hotel. This may be one of them.
I think that's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it is. But at any rate, everything from late model, there's a C8 Corvette over there. I brought the C5. It's all shined up. I spent a couple hours on it this morning. That hurt.
The rain that we got in on the way here hurt worse.
Yeah, it did, but that's okay. So I used Bobby Sparkman's suggestion, and that was to be sure and get some Rain-X. So I did that, squirted the windshield down, didn't have to move the wipers. Jeff Zekin and I worked on the car this past weekend. Yep, that's our friends at the hotel. Jeff Zekin and I worked on the in-wheel time machine this weekend. He helped, well actually he did all the work. I just sat by and watched him do his magic. And his magic was putting a windshield header on the Corvette that you bought, Mr. Mars, that says inwheeltime.com. Turned out great. And then he also helped me fix my windshield washers on the Corvette. So all that's working. Air conditioning works. There you go. Got a little air ride suspension going on there, doesn't he? Yeah. Here's your car, Mars. What? No? See, now that's a real road warrior there. But at any rate, so cars continue to come in. And it shows, yeah. So the cars continue to come in. We're getting ready for our 6 o'clock kickoff. And in the meantime, I can hear the symphony, the Victoria Symphony warming up. And we're going to go over there. We're going to get our lawn chairs out and enjoy the evening and probably get a beverage or so. So at any rate, we hope that you'll follow us along here on the inwheeltime.com mystique of the Hot Rod Tour of Texas. It's on inwheeltime.com, Facebook, YouTube. Am I missing something, Mars? It's on all of the social apps that you could possibly get. Mr. Mars is going to clip together all of these little bits and pieces that we're going to do, and we're going to play that back on our regular time slot on Saturday morning between 8 and 11 a.m. So we hope that you want to watch the whole thing all clipped together that Mr. Mars is going to work on, then that's the time to do it. Anyway, we'll catch up with you throughout the tour. Thanks for joining us.
Lots of really nice Mustangs out. 60 years of Mustangs, so everybody's out celebrating. Old Mustangs, new Mustangs. Here's a nice C5 Corvette. Hard to tell whose that is. Oh wait, could this be the Don Armstrong? It is Don Armstrong in the in-wheel time Corvette. It's Texas, of course. We got lots of trucks too. GT350. Oh, the story I had. Once upon a time, the one that really got away. People of all ages are out enjoying the Hot Rod Tour, particularly this really nice park out here with the city of Victoria. The orchestra, some high school bands playing as part of the 200-year anniversary celebration for the city. And I think it's the 60-year anniversary of the symphony here in town. So lots of things going on. Works out great timing that they decided to work with the Hot Rod Tour of Texas. Very much a family event, easy access. Few people out here, but
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th, you're invited to enjoy the 28th Annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance. See the largest collection of classic cars and boats in the U.S. on display at the beautiful Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. This year's Keels and Wheels features 60 years of Ford Mustangs and Donzi boats. There's plenty of free parking, and discount tickets are available online at keels-wheels.com. It's Keels and Wheels, Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook. In Wheel Time will be there, too. We'll see you there.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Ron Pfeiffer, and this is Ella, and this is our little 66 GTO. I purchased it in 05, and we drive it. This is the original color of the car, and everywhere we go, that goes. We've been in Miami, we've been in New York, we've been in Boston, we've been in Niagara Falls, we've been in Detroit, we've been in Chicago. I put like 35,000 miles on this car. So it's very reliable and it's very comfortable to travel in because we have a little habit of putting a little extra luggage in the back. So that happens. It's been very dependable. I took the automatic transmission out of it and put a 5-speed transmission in it. So now I'm getting better gas mileage and I'm able to run with the speed limit at 75 with about 2,200 RPMs. So I did add the tri-power to it. And the tri-power has been good. That's what was standard in 66, and this is a 66 tri-power on there. The 65s and 64s were smaller carburetors. This has the larger carburetors on it. The motor's been rebuilt. It's a 400. It's an all-roller motor. And I added air conditioning to it. we don't use that air conditioning very much. We go down the road with the windows rolled down. I said, tell her that's her air conditioning right there.
Yep.
We like that, you know. And we like to hear the pipes. We like to hear the noise. So, yep. The interior in the car is all original. And this is it's been painted once. It was painted 4 or 5 years ago. It's a driver. It's not a trailer queen. We drive it everywhere we go. Power tours. I've been on 2 power tours with it, and this one here came up, and I've never been on this one. So we're going to be doing this one with it. And we had an easy ride coming over here from Beaumont. You know, it wasn't too bad. You know, it was 400 and some miles. We kind of eased in here.
I live in Nederland.
How many years have you been on Cruising the Coast?
I've been in Cruising the Coast for 22 years. And we have been going down there, and I got a standing reservation in the hotel we stay at. It rolls over every year. Yeah, it was kind of dirty because we haven't cleaned it up since we got here. You know, but originally. Yep. So.
Do you take the top down?
Yes. We usually ride with the top down in the evenings. Yeah, like this. This is an evening to put the top down. Yeah.
Nice and cool.
Yeah, last year Cruising the Coast, we never put the top up. It was like 76 or 78 outside. We kept the top down all the time. So
does she drive it?
No. I have a 1968 Ford Mustang.
Where's it?
It's at home. It needed brakes. I don't think I wanted to be driving without a brake. As fast as I drive, I'd have to slow down way ahead of time.
So, yes, we are car people, period. We go to car shows probably a couple times a month.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
And we travel. We do them locally, but we also travel to wherever there's a good show going on.
Right.
Ron Pfeiffer,
It's a 66.
66 GTO. This is Ella, and hey, this is our car, and this is what we like.
This is Mike Mars, and we're still out here at the Hot Rod Tour of Texas in downtown Victoria on the square. Big event. The Hot Rod Tour has been working with the city, got orchestras, got lots of dancers going on, a lot of stuff, including cars. And in fact, this is Alan Rothman, and he's going to give us a quick look at his Buick Grand National that he brought over from League City.
That's right.
All right, tell us about this car.
Okay, well, this is it's a 1987 Buick Grand National. It still retains the original Buick 109 V6 block. It is completely built. It's got billet main caps. It's got a billet steel main girdle, stroker crank. It's 250 cubic inches. It has a set of ported TA Performance SE heads. They've been fully ported by Champion. It's got a Champion race intake that's been fully ported. It's got a 6766 precision dual ball bearing turbo. The car runs on E85. It's got an ECU GN. Okay, so it's got a 6766 precision dual ball bearing turbo, TA Performance headers, and basically the car runs on E85. It's got a flex fuel sensor, so it can run on 93 octane and meth or E85. It's controlled by an ECU GN engine control unit, and the car makes right at 700 rear wheel horsepower on E85.
And this is the V6.
This is the V6, yes sir. The car has ran 992 at 137.6 in the quarter mile.
In a quarter?
In the quarter mile, yes sir.
Yeehaw.
And the car runs 6 O's consistently on the draggy on the 60 to 130. whenever we have our weld wheels and tire, the drag pack on it. And the car's pretty consistent. Still retains the 200 R4 transmission. Got a custom converter. The transmission was built by Vince Janis out of Akron, Ohio. It's a full billet transmission. It's got everything you can put in a 200 R4 to keep it alive. It's got a Circle D lockup converter in it. Let me open that one, take a look.
It looks all factory.
All factory except for the dash. I do have a fully digital dash display in it that runs off of my ECU, so it gives me all the pertinent data.
Well, for you running like that, you're going to need it.
Yeah, I can power it up for you if you want. It'll take just a couple seconds for it to power up.
Never turn down listening to a hot rod.
Takes about 30 seconds for the dash to power up. Anyway, it's got the original 10-bolt, 8.5-inch rear end. It's been fully built. It's got a Detroit True Track, 342 gears, Mercer axles. Pretty much everything that you can do to a street-going Buick. It's got.
Keep it on the street.
Oh yeah, we drive it everywhere. We primarily built it as a pro touring car, but I do like to drag race it too, and we do a lot of roll racing stuff with it.
That's some nice flames you got there.
Yeah, it'll load into our dash here shortly. The car's got Ride Tech suspension front to back. It's all tubular. It's coilovers front and rear. That's what our custom dash display looks like. It's pulling all the information straight out of the ECU, so I've got good feedback on what the car is doing every time I'm driving it. Full-time data logging. We got to keep a pretty good handle on it when you're trying to make 700 horsepower out of a 35-year-old V6 with old technology. You got to keep it pretty good tabs on everything, but
looks like that'll do it.
Yeah, the interior is all original. It's still original 1987 stuff. The seats, the carpet, the dash, everything is exactly how it came from 1987.
How long have you had this car?
I've had this one about 5 years.
Okay. Been busy.
Yeah, we stay busy with it. I've pretty much redone everything on it, front to back. The car was painted when I got it. The interior is original, but drivetrain and suspension-wise, it's all been completely redone. Car's lowered 2 inches all the way around on the Ride Tech coilovers.
Yeah, you can see on the tires. I thought maybe it was the tires originally, but
Yeah.
it looks good like that.
Car handles really well, drives really well. And then we can slap the race wheels and tires on it, go to the track and bust off nines, and then turn around and drive it home.
That is the great thing about it. No putting it on the trailer and having to do all that.
All the accessories work. Factory AC still works. It's actually still on R12 Freon even. Yeah, AC blows ice cold. Got a pretty killer stereo system in it. Pretty much everything you need for a pro touring car that you can still drag race and roll race and do pretty much whatever you want to do with it.
Wow. So now that you got it to this point, what are you going to do with it next?
Right now, it's pretty much in a holding pattern as long as it stays running the way it is. I do have a TA Performance aluminum dart and sleeve race block in my hands that we're going to be building for the future. And that one will receive a Sonny Bryant crank. Same heads, we'll put a bigger turbo on it. We'll probably shoot to make about 900 rear wheel with that combination and still stay just as drivable as this 700 rear wheel combination is. Ideally, we would like to get it to run low 9s and a quarter and still stay in a full pro touring.
Stand right over there. There you go. So is this your first hot rod tour?
No, this is my second. I was here last year. We had this car here for the tour last year. And then when we made it to the Temple, the Little River drag strip at Temple, I developed some rear end problems and the rear end started making noise. So I cut the last day off short last year to go ahead and turn around and drive the car home. I didn't want to try to get further away from home while I knew the rear end was making noise. So we got it home, rebuilt the rear end, and it's been fine. We've raced the car all year. It's got a bunch of pulls, a bunch of miles on it. We put about 3,000 miles on it since the last hot rod tour of Texas. So we're pretty confident that we shouldn't have any problems this time around.
So where do you run it when you say you race it?
We raced at a Houston Raceway Park. The last time we made passes was in December of 23, right before the track closed down. So we haven't made any passes since then. We'll probably have to take it out to either Ennis, to Texas Motorplex, or take it out to Evadale Raceway, which is out towards Silsbee, towards East Texas. That's the only other quarter-mile tracks that are close to us. But we do a lot of stuff with the draggy. We do a lot of roll racing with the car, so we have a pretty good handle on what it does and what we can run with and what we should stay away from.
Where you can and
yeah,
where you can't.
right.
Yeah. There's another track up in Lufkin that's a little bit more of a drive.
There is. It's Pine Valley that's up in Lufkin, and it's actually an 8th-mile track, but I've heard that they're talking about extending that out to quarter-mile.
They're trying to. They got NHRA sanctioned last year, so I think they're actually trying to get one of the regional points events to come there.
Okay.
And if they can make some of those things work, they're going to expand it.
Yeah, I would love to drag the car up there, and like I said, when we went in 992 off of the foot brake. Really only the second pass on the car went 9s. And then we launched off the trans brake and it left with the front tires up in the air. When it came down, it unloaded the rear suspension, blew the tires off. It actually pushed both back tires into the rear fenders and cut both of my tires. So I was done for the night, but I'm pretty sure that we would have had a high 970, low 980 in the car if it would have stayed hooked off of the trans brake.
You can't complain. You get down in the 10s or lower. I mean, that's stout stuff for
a
street car.
For something running mid to high 9s out of a 35-year-old V6, it's, and the car's pretty heavy too. The car weighed 3930 with me in it, so it's a lot heavier than what people would think it would be. But with the stereo system that's in the car, and we have Dynamat throughout the car to insulate the sound, that adds a good amount of weight to the car. So it's pretty heavy. People would normally think these are 3,500 pounds. And my car was 3720 without me in it, and I'm 210. So it doesn't take much to add weight to it.
Well, it's a very nice car. Unusual. I mean, there's not a lot of them around.
Right.
So
not a lot of them around, and you don't see many of them going out on long road trips, and you definitely don't see many of them drag racing or roll racing or anything like that.
No, they don't. Well, cool. You here for the whole tour?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to go the whole tour this year. That is the goal. Make it all the way through the end and head back home.
Very good, very good. Well, we wish you luck. It's a beautiful car. Hope you continue to enjoy it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla Restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana? Stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is having another car social Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. It's a car cruise-in like no other. Expect Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Corvettes, and the featured brand Porsche. Get social at this special cruise-in event. You'll also see Gulf Coast Auto Shield's private workshop and learn about their many products and services. Questions are welcomed. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway near West Airport Boulevard, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The Car Social featuring Porsche takes place Saturday morning, May 18th from 8 to 11. Tell your friends, and no matter what car you have, bring it and enjoy this rare opportunity to see some of Houston's finest rides. In Wheel Time will bring its car talk show there too, so join us for another Car Social at Gulf Coast Auto Shield, Saturday morning, May 18th, 8 to 11 at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. Visit gcautoshield.com to see the show flyer for more details. Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Shield.com. From the world-famous Sugar Shack Studios outside Houston, Texas, this is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. It's a bonus look-see, a walk-around of the all-new Ineos. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, with Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal.
Yeah.
Plus, we'll get you caught up on stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us. All right, let's get up to the north. I assume the Northwest. Mm-hmm. That's where they usually live, but I don't know where this Ineos dealership is. Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal, good morning. How are you guys? Look at you.
Look at that.
Good morning. We're in a different place right now.
Where are you?
We are at Ron Tonkin Gran Turismo in Wilsonville, Oregon, which is the Ineos dealership for the area.
Wow. Well, that's a fancy dealership there. I like it. All right. So did I pronounce it right? Ineos?
Yes. Ineos Grenadier is the name of the vehicle. Ineos Automotive is the name of the manufacturer.
Okay. Well, I'm a little bit paranoid because, I really messed up your vehicle when we first met. And I gave it a name that really wasn't appropriate for children under, 20. So I wanted to make sure that I got it right. That's what I thought that it was. So we want to do the walk around. We want to see what it is. This is a brand new manufacturer. Where are they headquartered?
So they're headquartered in the UK. The vehicle itself is manufactured in Hambach, France, which is right on the border of Germany and France.
Okay. And is this their very first vehicle?
It is, yes.
Okay. And what about the MSRP of this? Is it an SUV? I can't tell.
Yeah, it is an SUV. It's a body-on-frame, solid front-rear axle. This model, the Trial Master, is triple locked front, center, and rear differential lockers. It's very, very capable off-road. It is a four-door SUV with a barn door style rear door configuration.
So is it kind of competing against the Land Rover?
The whole impetus behind this vehicle was the owner, Sir Jim Radcliffe, wanted basically to make a new Defender, so he decided to. And this is his interpretation of that vehicle.
Interesting.
And the Trial is the most ruggedized version of it, and the MSRP here in the U.S. starts, I believe, depending on how you configure it, around $79,000 USD.
I got you. So it really does compete head-to-head with Land Rover's counterpart to that.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting. Now, is this an electric vehicle?
No.
No, not yet.
So this vehicle is powered by a 3-liter inline-6 BMW power plant. It's a turbocharged twin-scroll turbo. It's an engine that is proven by BMW. It's actually the same engine that's in the Toyota Supra. So it's
retuned.
But it is a proven power plant. It's not some brand newfangled technology. No need to reinvent the wheel.
Interesting. Okay, well, that's not unusual for especially a startup manufacturer to go to an engine supplier of some sort, and I would imagine that inline 6-cylinder puts out some pretty good torque and power.
Yeah, it does. The Ineos weighs just a tick under 6,000 pounds, but it does move out pretty well. I've driven it just a couple of hours, and I never felt like, come on, go. It had plenty of grunt, especially down low, which is where we're wanted in that SUV.
Yeah. Now, I would assume that it's geared right as well. Is it an automatic transmission or is it a manual or both?
It is. It's an automatic. It's a ZF transmission. It does have a legitimate 2-speed transfer case. So the axles are 410s. They're supplied by a company called Carrero out of Italy. They make a lot of agricultural tractor axles.
Like for John Deere.
Again, proven company. But it's got 4 high, 4 low, and then it's got those diff lockers as well. So it's definitely going to tackle anything we need to take it on for sure.
Now the lockers on the axle, do you have to get out of the vehicle to engage them, or can you do it from inside?
You can do it from inside. So basically, there's an off-road mode. So you would put it in off-road mode. You'd put the transmission in neutral. and then you go ahead and put it in manually, move it into the forward low position, and then you have overhead switch panel, and then you can select your rear locker, then your front locker, etc. So the interesting thing about the Grenadier is it is mechanical when necessary and electric when they need to be also. So it's not totally plumb full of a million ECUs. It's only as many as they need. So you still have manual four-wheel drive engagement. It's not a dial that could possibly fail out in the field. Right.
How does it ride down the freeway?
It actually rides surprisingly well. I was surprised. It's taut, but it's solid front and rear axles. This is not designed to be a Rolls Royce. It's designed to be a very useful tool, and it's unapologetically truck-like. But that's what it was supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a posh luxury SUV. It's supposed to be a very capable SUV.
Does it have short front and rear overhangs?
It does. It has very short front and rear overhangs. Like, I don't know, about maybe,
big.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. It has very short front and rear overhangs. It's got very ample ground clearance, skid plates.
I'll show you during the walk around.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's do the walk around. I'm ready. I'm anxious to see it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, here's the front of the vehicle. So right now we actually, it comes with Michelin, it comes with BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tires, but because we're going to be doing thousands of miles in snow and ice, we switched over to a Michelin X-Ice tire, but in the same size, 265/70 R17. But we wanted the maximum winter traction possible. So, but you can see on the side here, they have this T-track, and you can actually mount accessories, shovels, anything like that you'd want on the outside, cases, so on and so forth. So it's got this utilitarian aspect to it. When you open the doors, it's not Corinthian leather here. It is more functional, and it's comfortable though, by far, more comfortable than I expected it to be. So your center gauge, your gauges are in the center on the LCD screen there, and then you can see perhaps it's a little dark there, but you can see it's you've got your automatic shifter out of a BMW, and then your transfer case as well. You can see also the switch gear is very sort of utilitarian. It's very purpose built,
and it's up there where you can reach it easy.
It looks to me,
yeah.
You guys, that the dash is a little bit lower than it would be in a normal vehicle. Is it just a vision that I'm seeing, or is it really that way?
No, it is a little bit lower, but the nice thing about it is, sort of like some of the older Land Rovers, is it's low, so you have a nice field of vision.
Yeah.
I can see the front of the vehicle in the corners. So when you are off-roading or in a challenging situation, you can see your corners. And I've been in off-road vehicles before where you can't see anything, and you have to rely on your spotter to tell you where to go all the time because you can't see.
Yeah.
Because the windshield's this big.
I really like the idea of having that track along the side so you can mount your shovels or whatever else that you've got to take with you.
Yeah, it's standard T-track. So we'll open the back door here real quick. And we have the seat covers on here. These are a nice, real sturdy seat cover. But we've got a 120-volt outlet in the back, and then USB as well. So we'll have plenty of places to plug in. I know it's a little dark. But and there's a couple of things up on the ceiling here. You've got your grab handle, but you also have some sort of proprietary mounts. But the rear is really interesting. So it comes with this. We have this ladder so we can get up on the roof. We're carrying 10 gallons of fuel up there. So we don't run out of fuel, or I'm less worried about us, but other people sometimes will run out of fuel, and we're going to carry 10 gallons of fuel with us up there. So you can see this is like an 80-20, 70-30. I'm not exactly sure the ratio, but you can see how this opens like barn door. We've got some of our recovery gear from Factory 55 in here. And you may be wondering why there's coolant in here. Well, the fact of the matter is when we're going up to an area that can sometimes see 60 below zero, we decided to swap the coolant mix out for a little bit colder mix. So from the factory, it's about 36 below zero Fahrenheit. With the mixer we're putting in, we're going to be good below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's an ambient temperature, not a wind chill. But you can see here too, by the way. So we've got more T-track back here, and this is going to be absolutely great for us So you can just push these little, or you pull them. I'm not even sure. You push them down. You can move them around. Well, you can.
We haven't used them yet.
Yeah, you could lock things in. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have these. We've got
and up above too, right here.
And there are tie down points here as well.
And they're load rated too. They're not just the real lightweight ones.
Yeah,
They're heavy duty ones.
Yeah, what she said.
So Andy, are you going to utilize those out the exterior tracks for any of your gear? Will you utilize those?
We probably won't. So being the temperatures and whatnot that it's going to be, that stuff's going to get completely covered in snow and ice and salt and all that stuff. So we'll have plenty of room here. So plus which we have this roof rack. So this is a Rhino rack that came from the company. It's from Ineos, I should say. They partner with Rhino Rack. So this is a full length roof rack. We've got our max tracks up there. We'll have our 10 gallons of fuel, and that's also a Rhino Rack double jerry can holder. So we'll be utilizing the rack and then the interior tie down points.
So does Ineos did they actually have an accessory package that you can buy, or accessories that will fit this thing?
Absolutely. So that Rhino Rack is one of the accessories. You've got, for instance, we have rock sliders on this one. The rock sliders are another factory accessory. If you don't want rock sliders, they offer running boards or steps. So those are more accessories. They have a whole host of other accessories, and then of course you can order these as you choose. Like this one has the snorkel on the front. We've got the roof rack, which was an accessory. We added the Max Tracks and the Rhino Rack fuel cans, the Rhino Rack fuel can holder. So, and this is, of course, the snorkel here that goes down into the air box. So that's going to help keep some clean air. And it's great that it's kind of rear facing. There were some people on the 2020 Alcan who had snorkels, and when they opened their air box, it was basically a snowball in there.
Wow. So is that the actual vehicle then that you'll be using?
This is the actual vehicle.
We're one step away from being ready. The only thing we need to do is put our decals on it. So, but we're gonna switch around here. I'll let Mercedes do some talking.
We'll let Michael send you some in-wheel time decals.
Oh, great.
Great. Yeah, we know where they'll probably go onto the luggage.
Yeah, so we do. You've talked a couple of times. We haven't really talked and explained exactly what you're going to do with this vehicle. So we need to touch on that real quick.
That's perfect timing. So Andy's the driver, as you pretty much guessed, and I'm the co-driver, the navigator. So the Alcan 5000. Actually, this is a perfect segue. Thanks, guys. So the Alcan 5000 rally is in its 40th year iteration. And this year, it is going, it's basically a 10-day time, speed, distance rally. And over those 10 days, we travel over 5,000 miles.
Oh, my gosh.
We're going to put a picture of the map up here on the screen real quick so that people can understand. I mean, 5,000 miles, 5,000 miles, but look at the map and see where it goes.
Exactly. So we start near Seattle, and we basically go all the way due north, all through British Columbia. So we start from Kirkland to Yellowknife, to Whitehorse, optional route all the way up to Coldfoot, Alaska, down to Valdez, and we finish in Anchorage through Fairbanks.
Oh my gosh.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah,
Ice and snow, you have to be comfortable driving on the snow. Hence why Michelin X-Ice tires are going to be extremely instrumental in this journey.
So I want to know, do you have a new snow parka?
We do. We do.
Because I imagine the fashionista that you are, you probably made a little stop somewhere at Saks Fifth Avenue or something to get your parka.
My version is buying one in Mountain Hardware because that's kind of my Saks Fifth Avenue. But I bought one that is $850 down. And Andy's got one that he bought actually for the 2020 rally. So we are going to be looking like
the Michelin Man.
Yeah, he's pretty much like Michelin Man. I was going to say Penguin, but Michelin Man, Penguin, same thing.
So when does this thing start?
So we leave for the rally on the 19th of February, and it starts on the 21st of February, and it finishes on March 1st.
You hope that it does.
10 days out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it will.
Now, how many competitors, I guess you would call them, are on this route with you?
So I believe there are 40 teams. Is there 40 or 42 teams?
I believe it's 40.
I think they capped it at 40 teams total. In the winter rally, there are just four-wheeled vehicles. I don't think there's ever been a 6x, but there's four-wheel vehicles. So they could be rear-wheel drive, they could be all-wheel drive, 4x4s. In the summer iteration, there can be motorcycles as well, or Urals if you wanted a sidecar, and in addition to vehicles. So the Alcan 5000 Rally is like the Olympics. It has the same type of cadence. So it's the winter, then 2 years, then the summer, then 2 years, then the winter.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. All right. Now I have to ask, with all of these competitors, I mean, what do you think your chances are of actually winning?
There are people that rally this for decades and don't ever win or podium. We need to finish, and we want to finish strong. That's our goal. And we want to do ourselves proud, and we want to do the vehicle proud. Our main job as journalists is to review the vehicle and to make sure that we're safe, that everybody around us is safe, test the vehicle, and push ourselves as ralliers. So that's our main goal.
It's a heck of a test.
If we have the random chance of podium, that's great. But for us, our goal is to finish without any mechanical issues, finish strong, whatever that looks like. That's what the gods have in store for us.
Will you be stopping at any Buc-ee's on the way?
I don't think there's any Buc-ee's there. I have to ask: Are you guys? I forgot my question. No, I didn't. How can we follow you guys?
So you can follow us via crankshaftculture.com or Crankshaft Culture via social media. Myself, as being the co-driver, I will have time, several hundred miles of time to, when I have service, to be able to load social stories as they happen. So my plan, again, is to do daily reels of how things happen. And then also via our own social media. Andy, you've got something to add?
I'm just going to say we're at Crankshaft Culture on Instagram and Facebook. We're at Crankshaft Cult on Twitter. When we post on there, we do have a YouTube channel and all the socials.
And we'll have several different articles, several different podcasts, radio shows, things like that happening after the event.
Very good. And I hope that we're one of the radio shows.
Of course, you guys always are.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Mars. We need to put a link on our website for them, so they can follow them through our website.
So, if one of you is driving, does the other one kind of like curl up and take a nap or get rest, or you more into the navigation?
I have to say, from behind the camera, the driver has it easy. Mercedes is the navigator, and she's the one that is really going to know everything. The drivers all sit around the next morning and go, where are we headed today? Nobody knows. It's the navigators that always know where we're going. Like, this is the route book. It's 5,000 miles worth of this, and it's a whole host of directions and speeds and odometer readings. And Mercedes is going to be extremely busy the whole time. If anybody, I'm the one that has it easy. She's the one that's going to be doing the majority of the work.
So that was time, speed, distance calculations that you saw, incremental ones, which we're still learning how to do. But as Andy drives, we have rugged radios that we are going to be using. I have two different sets. One is going to be for emergency communications, and then another is going to be for our buddy cars. They're actually not going to have handhelds. They're going to be plumbed into magnetic radio, or not magnetic. They're actually going to be mounted on the Rhino Rack roof rack antennas. So, but just for these purposes, we have them, so handheld. So if we need to go dig somebody else out or whatnot, we do have the antennas that are handheld as well. But for the actual rally purposes, they will be cabled up to external antennas. And then each person is required to have some type of in-reach satellite communications. We have an older Garmin GPS Map 66i that is in reach. So that's our satellite comms. So everybody is tracking. So we will be posting live tracking, which is really cool. So any of our audience, if you want to see all the rally cars, so far we are car number 15. That may change, but right now we're car 15. So if you wanted to see all the ralliers on a map and see us live as we're moving, you can see that. We'll post that link soon.
I am so excited. I want to go with you. I can be your photographer.
I don't know about that.
The other people.
I'm waiting for the Bahama 5000.
Yeah,
so
that's the one I want.
And Andy,
that's not going to happen.
One last question for Andy from me. What are you getting Mercedes for Valentine's Day, buddy?
I'll get back to you on that.
It's a surprise.
I'm going to give him.
Oh, my God. We love you guys. Thank you. Best of luck to you. And we'll be following you. And we'll hear from you, hopefully, when you finish the race.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks so much to both of you guys. All right. Well,
appreciate it.
Yep. That is Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal.
What a cool thing.
It is very cool.
Very cool.
Yep. We absolutely love that. All right. They've been very good friends of ours for a number of years, and we followed them all the way, and it's just been a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take them to a party. I want to party with them.
Do you?
Yeah. It's like partying with the stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Very, very, just well versed in the automotive segment. Really,
that they are. All right, time now for a quick break. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Thanks for riding with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email, info@inwheeltime.com. Back after this.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. On my board work over here, and I apologize for that. Welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Got some stories I wanted to pass along to you. Lucid Motors says it's partnering with Saks Fifth Avenue to offer test drives at department stores and for marketing efforts through the luxury retailer's online platform. While EV startups such as Fisker and VinFast have turned to U.S. dealers in recent months to bolster sales, Lucid is taking a unique approach by partnering with Saks to promote the pricey Air sedan. And if you've seen one, you're going to go, wow, look at that thing.
Yep.
Additional elements of the collaboration include a dedicated Lucid landing page on Saks.com, content on its digital channels, and an event in the Saks Fifth Avenue store that's going to include actually the Houston, Texas location. Saks showcased Lucid's top trim Air Sapphire variant with a starting price of $250,000, including shipping. The base Air starts at $78,900. No markup in that.
No.
And let's see, what else do I want to do? Electric vehicle newcomer Rivian Automotive outscored EV sales leader Tesla in brand satisfaction, according to Consumer Reports. Tesla also fell behind brands that mostly sell gasoline vehicles, including BMW and Porsche. Rivian's top place finish came in its first year of consideration for brand satisfaction in Consumer Reports survey. Rivian has two models, the R1T pickup and the R1S crossover, both of which were highly rated by owners. Across the U.S. auto industry, Tesla is often at the top of the list in satisfaction metrics, such as brand loyalty, but it is starting to fall behind rivals with fresher products, according to analysts. Individual models that scored highly in the most recent survey include the Chevy Corvette at number 1, with 93% of owners saying they'd buy the car again. The Rivian R1T was in second place with 88% saying, yeah, I'd do it again. Mm-hmm. Amongst the least satisfying vehicles, there was the Nissan Altima with just 48% say they'd buy that thing again.
Wow.
Along with the Kia Forte with 47%, Mercedes-Benz C-Class 46%, and Volkswagen Taos with 38%.
That's not good.
I don't think I like what I bought. Ow. How much money did you pay for that?
Buyer's remorse.
I'll say. We've got another show coming up next week, and then the week after, we are going to be at Mars. Hemi Hideout.
The Hemi Hideout, yes.
Yes.
I should have put that on the events calendar.
Maybe you should have.
Yeah, that would have been a good thing. So that's our next remote that we're going to have. And if you'd like more information on that, go to hemihideout.com, and you could sign up to be there. Limited number of folks, $10 to get in. It's going to be that Saturday, the 24th, starting at 10:30 and going till 1 o'clock, so kind of the lunch hour. All right, we're going to finish up today's show right after this quick break.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Here's your invitation to follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, share our stuff. We'll keep you posted on all things automotive all week long, including award-winning interviews, new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, and car, truck, and SUV goodies.
Yep.
When you need to hear some good car talk during the week, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 via the iHeartRadio app. We live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Daily 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite streaming provider. We post a new episode every day.
Every day.
The In Wheel Time marketing, advertising advisor, and video technical director is We Always Need More, Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
From booking agent, do-it-all, and IT connoisseur, Mike Mars, and Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you join us for another live, award-winning production of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show next Saturday, February 17th, on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Have a great weekend, and keep your wheels on the pavement.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.
Heard and seen around the world with our clothes on. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we're going to talk to Shay Manowar about the cost of charging an EV versus the cost of fueling your gas-powered vehicle. Jeff has this week's cruise-ins, and we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines. Today's show is sponsored by Mecum Auctions Houston at NRG Center, April 4th through the 6th. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's a beautiful day in Houston, Texas, and out here in Snoogie Land. We're glad that you could join us, as I said. And we're also glad that Shay Manowar is joining us, too, from the Anderson Economic Group. Shay, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Well, good. It's good to talk to you again. So let's talk about
ICE versus EV, internal combustion engines versus electric vehicles. And there is this myth, and I say that loosely, this myth that EVs are for free when it comes to fueling or recharging your batteries, but that is not the case, sir.
I like free.
I've learned in my life there is nothing free, and anything that is free, I try to run away from it because it eventually costs you more at the end. But I'm glad that you talked about ice, because you also talked about nice Texas weather. We in Michigan had about 3-4 inches of snow, so it's back to Christmas season here.
Yeah, you did. In fact, probably July, that's going to be clearing up for you. Just to let you know.
At that point, we stop hoping. I mean, we just wait till, okay, a couple of more months of not snow and then go back.
I grew up there. That's why I'm down here.
I grew up in a warmer weather, and now I'm up here. But it's still good to have. It's good to be back on the show. And yes, going back to the topic of which is cheaper to charge or fuel. We have been doing these studies for nearly 2 years now. We look at quarterly data. We look at EV vehicles by segments. We look at ICE vehicle by segments, and we group them together. And then we look at which is cheaper, which is more expensive to fuel. Based on our last quarter of last year, it turned out that at this point of time, most of the internal combustion engine vehicles are still cheaper to fuel for most consumers compared to their EV counterparts. And we look at that based on how we classify internal combustion engines and electric vehicle cars by segments on price tags.
Okay, so the price of the vehicle does kind of play a part in this. From what I'm looking at here on the rundown, the entry-level vehicles are cheaper to fuel when it comes to gasoline engines. It's also cheaper to fuel in the mid-price. Now, these include cars and crossovers, right? And so gasoline is still cheaper there. And actually, in the difference between the entry and the mid-level pricing of cars that have internal combustion engines is less than $1. And then you jump to the luxury vehicles, and wow, the price of the luxury vehicles across every segment of your chart here is more expensive.
Yeah, and one main factor is the type of fuel that typically goes into luxury vehicles. I mean, most consumers, my understanding is they like to have premium gasoline for their premium price cars. So that plays a role. And then we also noted that accessibility to charging for luxury vehicles tend to be a little different for a typical mid-price or entry-level EV owner. For instance, we also know that most of the EV buyers who drive high-priced EV vehicles have a very settled infrastructure to charge their vehicles either at home, or they can afford to have some deadhead miles to go to a commercial charging. So these are some of the factors that play a big role in how we look at the inputs, and then eventually look at how much it would cost for a typical EV driver or ICE driver to charge for at least 100 miles.
I filled up my 2001 Corvette, 3/4 of a tank of gas with premium fuel from Exxon, an Exxon station. So the supreme price per gallon was $4.09, okay, for premium fuel, and I bought 12.443 gallons of gas. Okay. And that figures out to $51 for 3/4 of a tank of gas for me this week. The Corvette, they request that you put premium fuel in.
Sure, right, yeah.
So I guess I would fall into that category, but I think I'd really kind of fall into the truck category, I think. I mean, it was expensive, man. But I think it's probably more expensive up there, isn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say that. I mean, having living in Texas does give you some liberty of some low rate,
less
gas.
expensive fuel, right?
But that's not. Well, it may be less expensive to what he pays up
Right,
there.
right.
Do you know what the premium price of fuel up there in Detroit is?
So it's touching. It's going a little over 4 nowadays. Depends on if you go to Costco or not. If you go to Costco, then you might get a little discount. However, we also know that the pricing does play a huge role. The gas prices, for instance, last year at some point, the gasoline price, when it jumped, especially in June of 2021, it was touching 4 or 5 per gallon, even in Michigan up here, and then that discouraged many of ICE drivers. And then we also noted that the price to charge your EV was a little cheaper than the ICE vehicle. So the gas prices do play a big role, and we have been noting this every quarter. Right now, based on my understanding, the average gas price across the U.S. is about 3.2 per gallon, but that's the standard gas, not premium.
Correct. Yeah, that's close to what it is here. I think it's touching $3 a gallon right now.
Depending on where you go and the quality of the station, it could be a mom and pop that offers not the best quality grade of gasoline, I would imagine, but then you've got the Exxons like you go to, or the Shells that have a little bit different premium pricing.
I choose to buy top tier gas.
Right. Well, you have to for your car,
for the Corvette. But I mean, even the lower tier that aren't even in the top tier, you know, the 7-Eleven gas.
Right.
Actually, the 7-Eleven store has top tier gas.
It does.
It does. But, you know, Don's Corner Stop, it has premium gas, but it's a lot less, and we don't know what it is.
It's got a filter over the nozzle so you don't get the stuff.
That's right.
You don't have to.
All right, so let's talk about then the comparison with the electric vehicles, and I'm sure that you've got a similar situation up there in Detroit that we have here. I know that there are power companies, power providers here that tout the fact that you get free electricity at night. If you buy their 1 year or 2 year plan, between the hours of midnight and 6 o'clock in the morning, your electricity is free. But they've got to make that up somewhere. So it's all a juggling act, you know. And I would imagine that probably plays a price in this too, doesn't it?
Yeah, and yes, it does. But then the main factor is the size or the current infrastructure that we have for EV buyers in Michigan, for instance. I can speak for Michigan. I can also speak for the town where I live in. What we have been noting is that those who might be interested in buying EV vehicles, they would purchase despite what the energy prices are looking. I mean, just because they're interested in the vehicle, despite the price hike for many EV segments. However, for mass consumers, infrastructure is such a significant factor that goes into if they decide to buy an EV or not. And one big factor is how they can place a charging setup in their home or in an apartment where they live at. And then once they know that there is a system in place, then the EV or energy prices tend to play a role in consumer psyche. So we tend to read how consumers are behaving towards EV adoption, and every time there's a news about how batteries play a part in EV cars, I mean, it either tends to discourage them or encourage them. I mean, recently we had a news. There was a news in Wall Street Journal that it was not the lithium battery that was causing problems for the new EV drivers. It was a small 12-volt battery that tends to fuel or tends to charge other components of the car, was causing issues for many new EV drivers. So the three big factors, what we have been noticing is A, the infrastructure, if there's good enough or not. At this point in time, you will find a lot more gas stations than EV charging stations. And second, the price. most of the EVs, as of right now, the average transaction price is higher than the average transaction price of a standard car.
Yeah.
And the third is, yes, the overall safety that is around the EV. And then all these three big factors have been playing a role in driving down the sales for most of the EV segments in the past couple of quarters.
What do you drive?
I recently got a Toyota Grand Highlander.
Okay.
And a Buick LaCrosse. So those two cars, my wife and I, depending on who's driving the
And
kid.
you drive a LaCrosse?
I drive a LaCrosse, which is 3.6.
Right. So the vehicle, well, a friend of mine had one. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you had an EV or not, is what I'm thinking.
So we have few folks in our office who have EVs. So we do bank on their experiences. And then if we have a snowy season in Michigan, and then if you're trying to travel up north where there's any charging infrastructure placed, I would rather take my ICE vehicle than the EV. And that's how it plays in the consumer psyche. I mean, they would buy an EV, but many consumers who tend to buy EV also are typical affluent consumers. I mean, they can afford to have two vehicles in their household. One could be EV, one could be an ICE, and then they can pick between which one they want to drive if they are going for a longer distance drive.
And they can afford the charging system for the home as well.
And that is a big factor because
very big.
Commercial charging. Yep. If you look at the chart, I mean, it's at times it's more expensive to charge cars at commercial booths, and then at times we don't have them enough. And then some of the new EPA standards you probably would have noted that was recently released by the federal government. They expect that EV share of sales to go up around 30% in the U.S. As of right now. Only 8% of the cars that were sold in the U.S. as of last quarter.
Well, Shay, do you see more charging systems going in for the public, like at a restaurant or maybe a big box store? Because I do see those here in the Houston area, the markets that I go to weekly. Some of the new constructions, there's new clinics, there's new car dealerships, there's new whatever the case, but they're allowing for, and it's part of the construction of an EV section in the parking lot, be it at the side of the building, the back of the building, or wherever. But that's all being incorporated into the new builds that I see now going on here in the Houston area.
That's a very good point, because we have also noted that any new construction, they are considering how they can bring in the EV charging infrastructure. So we have noted some new parking structures, for instance, here in Michigan.
Right.
They do have some spots for maybe a half a floor is dedicated to EV vehicles, or some big grocery stores they have. But then again, the U.S. is such a big country, and then the way the auto industry is set up, you have a franchise system, and then it's based on 3-tier. The adoption will look very different for an urban community such as Houston compared to a community here in Lansing or in mid-sized cities in other parts of the country. So it depends on what type of growth we are noticing in different parts of the country. Mm-hmm. Houston is a growing region compared to, let's just say, I would say Baltimore or Detroit.
Right.
The growth is still there, but it's not as humongous as compared to.
Well, Houston being an energy capital of the United States and possibly the world and beyond, that this is sort of a different take because of being oil, drill, and then now you've got the electrical side of it, or the EV side of it. So that's kind of being incorporated. I think Houston's actually kind of leading in some respect on getting that built through the infrastructure, rather than just a typical city somewhere, maybe a smaller town. Maybe a smaller town in West Texas, or maybe somewhere else in the United States in the flyover country. But I see that more and more now here in Houston as well.
That's a very good point, because I was in Salt Lake City a few months ago, and I did note that the infrastructure, charging infrastructure seemed robust. I mean, it was, but again, I mean, the average or typical household income in Salt Lake City is very different from a typical household income in a city like Detroit.
On the other side of that, there's also gas stations being built quite frequently. From the Studio A here to my house, there's probably 3 corners that there's new gas stations going up, and that's incredible, because there's on the four corners of the street, 3 of them have gas stations. So, and they're all different brands, make sizes. Some are you walk in and buy stuff, and others are just the pumps. So that's kind of relating to it too. So there's growth on both the gas side and the EV side. Now, who's going to win? I don't know.
My take is the adoption's going to happen. I wouldn't say it's a new technology. It's a technology that the auto industry has been testing for a number of years. People will start embracing EVs, but then you cannot just force upon EV on any individual. That's a trend we have noted in the past couple of years. As of right now, what we have noted as of last quarter sales, less than 500,000 sales presented battery electric vehicles in the U.S. I'm talking about.
Do you think that is because of the charging infrastructure, or do you think it's the price of the vehicles, or the price of interest on the loans that you have to get? Because average price of a vehicle now is $50,000, and above that comes for the most part, the EV. And I don't know, with the way that the infrastructure is, that's an awful lot of money to pay for rolling the dice and seeing whether or not you like it or not.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you mentioned. I think all those 3 factors do play a role. The price, yes, average transaction price of a standard vehicle in the U.S. Is about $47,000. It has started to come down from $48,000 or $49,000. But the average transaction price of a new EV is still around $54,000, $53,000 ballpark. But then that's predominantly because of how Tesla has brought their prices down.
Yeah.
And most of the BEV sales that we note are coming from Tesla. I mean, Mach-E and then Cadillac and Hyundai. I mean, they're experiencing some growth in their sales, but it would be hard to catch up with Tesla in the next few years. That's my understanding. However, some of the new battery plants or that are being constructed across the country, it may play a factor. Let's just say 5 or 6 years from now, when those plants start to churn up all those batteries, and then we will see increased lineup of EV vehicles presented by each OEM. As of right now, there are not enough EVs from legacy brands in the U.S., especially the big 3. And then when they do, the big question is, are people going to like them, enjoy them, buy them, and drive them for a longer period of time, so that you tend to pass it on to the next generation, which is the EV adoption.
Well, I've been a big proponent of hybrid vehicles, and I see that General Motors has kind of backed up just a little bit and said, we're not going to do away with all of the hybrids just yet. We are going to reintroduce hybrids to the mix, because I think that they realize that there is a tweener that is going to really be drawn to a vehicle like a hybrid as opposed to a full EV. Shay, it's great to talk to you. Thank you very much for joining us today. Anderson Economic Group, where can we find more information from them?
You can always visit our website. However, our CEO, Patrick Anderson, he's pretty active on social media such as LinkedIn. He was recently quoted multiple times on Wall Street Journal and other publications. But I told him yesterday that I'm coming to your show. He told me to say hi to you guys, and he wants to come back next time we get an invitation. So
you bet.
Always an open door. Give us a call anytime you got some new news for us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys, and enjoy the nice warm weather. And if you need, we can send some ice.
We're good. We'll send some warm temperatures.
Don't forget to wear your mucklucks today.
Your mucklucks. There you go. Shay, thank you again. Shay Manowar with Anderson Economic Group. All right, time now on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show for the Cruise-In calendar.
Okay, here we go.
Jeffrey has that.
All right, I do. There's one going on right now. This came into me late this past week, but it's going on right now. It's a cruise to Kuntz Park event. You got to meet. They were supposed to meet in Cleveland at the Brookshire Brothers in Cleveland, and then they drove out. They're going to meet up with the Wild Horse Mustang Club, which they're probably doing right about now, and then they're going to.
And they're listening to this show.
Yeah, and listening to the show, and they're going to go to the Picket House Cruise. So that promises to be a good event. Also today, going on in just a few moments, it's going to start at 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. It's Get Low Houston. It's at 26427 Peden Road in Magnolia, which is a bit of a cruise, but I see the weather outside's clearing up very nicely. And again, it goes to 5 p.m. So tomorrow is the Test and Tune again at Houston Motorsports Park. We'll keep saying that until they don't have it. It is from noon to 8 p.m. tomorrow. And then also tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., you got the Savage Sunday Exotic Car Show 2 in the Heights. And it is at 1213 West 20th Street in Houston, Texas. It goes from 2 to 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Wait a minute. It's the erotic. What is it again?
No, it's the exotic.
Oh,
car
exotic.
Show.
Sorry.
Oh,
My mistake.
no. Exotic.
The erotic.
Not erotic. That's Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, it's the Monday show.
Great. I got some stories to tell you about. Making car news this week. We get our news from Automotive News. If you ever wanted to dress like a mechanic or show support for Ford Motor Company, they need it. You can get it in distressed denim. The automaker has partnered with apparel company Forever 21. I know you visit there quite frequently, don't you?
I'm a little bit older than that.
Well, I don't know. You act like a teenager many days. You can go to Forever 21.
More like Baby Tomorrow.
And the erotic show. There you go.
A limited edition fashion collection that Ford said reintroduces today's generation to a bygone era of quintessential Americana that saw car culture at the forefront. Notice they said that in past tense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Products in the 28-piece collection available online and in stores now range from a $17.99 rhinestone graphic T-shirt and Gloria Vanderbilt jeans.
Why is he looking at me? He's looking at me when he's... Come on now.
Some of those chick jeans, you know, those tight ones that you wear, those low riders.
Skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans with
So the $17.99 rhinestone graphic T-shirt to $79.99 unisex Mustang coveralls. That's for you, Jeffrey.
Shirtless coveralls.
The various shirts, pants, jackets, hats, and sweatshirts feature either the blue oval logo in just the right place.
Where do you put it?
Or graphics of the Mustang sports car on Bronco SUVs. Forever 21 of Los Angeles has about 400 stores nationwide.
Not anymore.
You'll find Jeffrey making personal visits there beginning this afternoon. Sorry, I make myself laugh. I just can't help it.
He'll be modeling the coveralls.
The coveralls.
We're gonna cut them off and make some.
There's no mention of chaps.
Oh, Lord of mercy!
You know the kind you're talking about.
I know exactly which kind you're talking about. Oh my Lord!
God.
I just have that vision.
No, I don't.
I do. I do. With you in some cut-off coveralls.
We just lost 13 countries on the broadcast.
Speaking of Ford Motor Company, a glut of late arriving 23 models have driven Lincoln Motor Company inventory to the highest levels in the industry, promoting the brand to boost incentives and use other strategies to help dealers sell down the remaining backlog. Matter of fact, I've been seeing commercials for the Lincoln Navigator, and good luck. Mm-hmm. Lincoln had more than 4 months' worth of inventory at the end of February, more than any other brand outside of those owned by Stellantis, according to Cox Automotive. About 1/3 of its unsold vehicles were from the previous model year. Go buy an old car.
Yeah.
Company data shows that Lincoln's February gross stock of 33,000 vehicles was nearly triple that of a year earlier. Officials pinned the high levels on a confluence of factors. That's a confluence, like they have on a river.
Yep.
Including a continued normalization of supply, after years of shortages. A months-long stop sale on the Aviator for a defective rear-view camera system, coupled with a 26-day UAW strike at the Chicago plant, where it's built. Boo-hoo. It delayed shipments to the dealers until late in the year. A later-than-expected launch of the freshened Corsair over software issues in early 23 also played a role.
It's actually a good-looking vehicle.
Among the deals available to Lincoln buyers, according to a gentleman named Poulos, I guess it's a dealership here in Houston. Well, he owns West Point Lincoln. He said 0.9% interest for 60 months on the 2023 Nautilus and the 2.9% for 60 months on 2023 Aviators. Poulos, who owns West Point Lincoln in Houston, said 2023 models accounted for roughly 40% of his February sales and that he expected to be sold out of them by the end of May. Hurry on over to your local Lincoln dealer today. Just thought I'd bring that up. And Ferrari was accused in a U.S. lawsuit of failing to fix a dangerous safety defect with the brakes in some of its sports cars, despite issuing multiple recalls. Recalls were no more than an interim corrective measure for one of the identified brake problems, leaving thousands of Ferrari drivers in unsafe vehicles, according to the proposed class action suit filed Monday in the U.S. District Court in San Diego. California resident Ilya Nechev, not a local, claims that his 2010 Ferrari 458 Italia, which he bought in 2020, had brake issues from the day he got it and would experience partial or total loss of braking capability. Yikes! Ferrari is accused of not notifying customers of the full extent of the brake defect, which Nechev says could only be fixed by replacing the master cylinder. Instead, the company continued to sell or benefit from the sale of thousands of cars containing this life-threatening defect, according to the complaint. So you own a Ferrari, you need to fix it. All right.
It's number 3.
All right. That would be,
Number 3 brake.
Number 3. Oh, okay. Well, time now for a quick break here. It's not going to be too quick, but we'll be right back on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show after this. Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green. Hey, I wanted to remind everybody that coming up in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have John Kraman from Mecum Auction Houston, and he'll be talking about the big event coming your way in a couple of weeks, actually less than 2 weeks. And it's always great to talk to him because he has insight on automotive that you don't get from anywhere else. But we're going to talk to him after another quick break. Stay with us. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong. Time now for this hour's car review. I drove the 2024 Nissan Frontier. It comes in these trim levels: S, SV, Pro X, SL, and Pro 4X. I drove the Pro 4X Crew Cab 4x4 automatic V6. This is considered by your U.S. government a standard pickup truck. Now, in our world, it's either a compact or a midsize, depending on your nomenclature for such a thing. I particularly gravitate toward this size pickup truck. Comes in 2 cabs and 2 beds that are available. Seats up to 5, including the driver. Exterior changes from last model year. This was all new design in 2022. Now, what is really cool this year, they offer a hard body appearance package. It offers that 80s and 90s hard body Nissan Frontier look about it. And it's really cool. Exterior features for this particular model that I had: sharp-looking front fascia with high-mounted squinty headlights, blacked out grille with integrated skid plate, black wheel opening extensions, body-colored rear bumper adds to the upscale look. That is, body-colored. In other words, they painted it. What I like, the overall body design gets high marks. Lower red front tow hooks are included. What could use improvement? Smaller wheels and bigger, fatter tires. That's what I would do.
It's your choice. Yeah.
Interior highlights: simple, straightforward dash design, built-in square infotainment screen with HVAC controls that has its own panel beneath that infotainment screen. Passive phone charger with a forward storage tray on the center console. Optional leather seats with special Pro 4X embossing. What I liked: simple, easy-to-use controls. What could use improvement? Hard seating surface and lots of plastic paneling that could use improvement, but remember, this is an off-roader, so they like to make these things in the off-road way, which tougher, is like, put the hose in there and wash it out. Heavily weighted steering. It's an issue. It's the first thing I noticed. You may like heavily weighted steering. I think it's just a little bit too much. That's me. In other words, it's almost as if it's a cross between power steering and no power steering, manual steering. 3.8-liter V6 turns out 310 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque. Shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive system, 2-speed transfer case, 9-speed automatic transmission. Tow rating is 6,100 pounds. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Payload, 1,220. It's almost like a regular half-ton pickup truck. Miles per gallon in the city, 18. 22 on the highway for a combined of 19. I got 20.2 over 321 miles, most of that on the freeway. What I liked about it, the 17-inch beadlock alloys with those off-road tires on it. I think that looked really good. What could use improvement? I would like to offer that they offer a high-output 4-banger engine in it. because I know that there are four-banger engines that turn out 300-plus horsepower. I know it can be done. I'd like to see that as an option. What I liked about the ride and handling, love those Bilstein off-road shocks. They work good on the road, too. I've got lots of travel in it, and it just is really a nice ride to it. What could use improvement in the ride and handling category? Nothing. Okay, here's the pricing on this. The base trim price is $39,300. The price as tested, all loaded up, $47,630. That's a lot of money. Base model price, you can get in one of these for $31,330. Competitors, and I'm going to give you the base price for these competitors. The Ford Ranger at $32,565. The Toyota Tacoma starts at $29,430, and the Chevy Colorado starts at $29,500. So they're all within a couple $1,000s in the start-off price.
Yeah.
So that's my review of the 2024 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X.
I like the color. The green that you had was nice.
I did too.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not a green kind of guy, but I did.
No, but it's
it
kind
wasn't-
of
It's off-roady.
Yeah, but it's not a
off-roady.
look at me, I'm green color.
Technical term.
And it's not an army green.
It's not fluorescent.
Yeah, and it's kind of in between from.
It just works with this
It
vehicle.
does. It does.
They
Real
did
well.
They did a good job on that. So thank you, Steve Parrott at Nissan, for loaning me the vehicle, which, by the way, I had to get his permission to get it.
Oh, wow.
So I just couldn't go through Alba, our normal source. So I called Steve. Steve, come on.
Yeah, I got to send him some information too.
Yeah. So at any rate, we got it. It's good. It's good.
Gooder.
And really did enjoy it. Time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2025 Alfa Romeo Tonale. Well, it's only one trim level, and that's the Tributo Italiano E all-wheel drive. This was an all-new vehicle last year. It rides on the Dodge Hornet platform, of all things, with the same engine that's modified, a modified Jeep platform, if you will. It's built in Pomigliano, Italy. We love the overall shape with distinct alpha triangular center grille, squinty headlights, nice 3-slot rear lighting, big dual exhaust, almost coffee can size. Big red brake calipers that really stand out behind those huge wheels. They're 20-inch, 5-hole wheels is what they call them. Very unique, very cool. It stands out, had a lot of compliments on them. Red, white, and green Italian salute on the side mirrors. They're very small, but very cool. What could use improvement? Nothing really stands out. Now, as far as interior is concerned, we love the red lighted dash accent with high-quality interior. 10-inch infotainment screen with really excellent design. A starter button on the steering wheel, which is kind of unique, and it took some getting used to try to find it, but there it is on the steering wheel, left-hand side. As far as other interior highlights, it had a phone storage charger right underneath the center dash. Cargo room, adequate, but remember, this is a small SUV. What I liked, rear seat legroom is outstanding, believe it or not, in this vehicle. This is a PHEV, a partial hybrid electric vehicle, a plug-in, a 1.3-liter turbocharged gasoline engine creates 285 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. 6-speed automatic transmission. It will tow up to 1 ton. As far as mileage is concerned, on the gasoline-only motor, 154 miles. Battery, 235.9 miles for a total of 390.2 miles overall. I got 60.3 miles per gallon with the combination over 10.38 hours. What I liked about it, the mileage and the power. What could use improvement? Give me more of it. The gasoline motor drives the front wheels, and the electric motor drives the back wheels. Now, as far as range is concerned, it's only going to get 30 miles on electric only. But If you drive it just around your area of town, or for instance, a commute back and forth to work, get a full charge in the morning, take it to a 30-mile destination, and then plug it in. At the end of the workday, 30 miles back, you're going to be really sweet because it's probably not going to kick in the electric motor unless you really get on it. What I liked about it, the sports car feel in the ride and handling for an SUV. What could use improvement? Really nothing. This is a very unique vehicle. Warranty, 4 years, 50,000 miles. Base trim price on this is an affordable $59,995. Price is tested with all of the accoutrement on it, $59,630. The base model price with the gasoline motor is $45,995. It's a hot rod, a very sporty ride, that's for sure. Competitors include the Lincoln Corsair PHEV, $54,265. The Volvo 40 eCharge, $52,450. So overall, I want to give it an A rating, believe it or not. I really did like this, and if you're into a plug-in hybrid electric, this is something you definitely should have on your shopping list. And that is my review of the 2025 Alfa Romeo Tonale Tributo Italiano E all-wheel drive. Let's move on, shall we, and talk about a review of the 2024 Toyota Tundra Capstone.
Now, I will say that I've seen a couple of these out in the wild before I actually got one and got the opportunity to drive it, and I was really impressed with some of the styling changes. So this is the 2024 Toyota Tundra Capstone Crew Max four-wheel drive. They did a big redo in 2022, and they've been styling it out since then. It is available in 2 cab styles, 2 engines, got 3 different bed lengths, so you can kind of mix and match things, but there's actually 7 trim levels, starting with the base SR, then it goes to the SR5, a Limited, Platinum, the $1,794, and then you got the TRD Pro, which is the big off-road, and then you get to the Capstone, which is the top-of-the-line premium model, which is what we happen to have for our review. Now, it's got a lot of things on the outside of it, including LED lighting that's all the way around, including fog lights. It's got the automatic leveling headlights, and it's got tow mirrors that actually extend out from the sides and fold that are heated. It's got a panoramic sunroof, and it's really a big sunroof on the inside of that cab. Got power running boards, and it's got a bed step that's on the back so you can get up into the bed. My wife really appreciated these power running boards because they were a pretty good height for her, and they came out quick. They didn't diddle around trying to get there. We were rolling on some 22-inch dark chrome alloy wheels, which really stood out well on the white paint that we were riding in. It's got, on the inside of it, it's got the aniline leather seating surfaces. Now, the front seats are heated and ventilated, as well as the rear seats on the outboard positions. It's got a 14-inch Toyota multimedia screen in it, and that's where you're going to find your CarPlay, your Android, all of your navigation, your convenience controls. It's all going to be right in there. Now, for the driver, there is a 12.3-inch digital gauge package, and it's got a big 10-inch heads-up display right there on the glass. So it's really big, really easy to see, particularly at night. It was really nice running down the road. Now, if you want to really have some sound in this thing, it's got a JBL 12-speaker audio system with a subwoofer on it. And it really sounds well in this vehicle because it's got a lot of the sound deadening glass and stuff on it. It's got a big glass space. You got plenty of windshield, the big glass on the back of it. So there's not a lot of road noise, so that audio system really stands out. Now, to make all this stuff work, up front, you got a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 hybrid under the hood. So this equates out to 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque. And it's got a nice sound to it. I thought, first time I cranked it, I thought it had a V8 in it. So it's got a really cool sound to it. It's got plenty of torque. It's a 10-speed automatic with this thing. Now, the one we had was rated to tow 11,200 pounds. You can do a couple of mods, get it up to 12,000. Haul rating of 1,940. So plenty of stuff to put in the bed. Now, the EPA says that in the city you should get 19, the highway 22, combined 20. It's always been kind of the shortfall of the Tundra. The fuel economy has always been a little weak.
Yeah, like 13.
Yeah. So I drove 228 miles in this vehicle, and I got 16.0 on the average across it, which is better than I got in the past. But still, yeah, but you don't really buy vehicles like this if you're looking for gas mileage. You're going to buy something else to begin with. Toyota says 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds. It's got 2 different drive modes. You can get the tow mode, the haul mode. And I will say, I thought it had great highway dynamics. The ride was nice and smooth. It was firm without being wishy-washy. There was not a lot of road noise. It handled nice. And again, the V6 engine really had a nice sound to it. I was really impressed with it. And the big glass, the big windshield, the glass on the side, it just had a nice big view to where you could see everything. It was really a pleasure to drive the vehicle. Now, I will say, pricing-wise, that Crew Max that we were in, the base model price starts at $42,015. Now, the base trim price that we were at, again, 7 levels up, starts at $78,845.
The capstone.
The capstone, top of the line. As tested,
here we go.
$82,423, which was a little. It was actually less than I expected it to be.
I was waiting for you to say 100,000.
Yes, exactly. Now, if you look across at the Ford F-150, the base on it for the big crew cab is $43,515. The Silverado, $42,500, and the Ram 1500's at $42,170. So they're all on the base level, all in that $42,000 range for the standard half-ton 4-door pickup truck, and then you kind of go up from there with whatever you want. All of them have plenty of stuff to put in it to where you can push it up in that $80,000 or $90,000 range and get whatever you want. But I do like the restyling they've done on this truck.
It looks nice.
We've always liked to drive the Tundra. It was just the fuel economy and some of the styling keys on it, but they've really made some changes in it.
Jason's got a Tundra. I don't know what year his is, but he likes his.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. And be sure to follow us on Facebook. Time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 2024 GMC Sierra. It's available in no less than 8, count them, 8 trim levels. Starts with the Pro, which I find is interesting because, Toyota has a Pro model in the Tundra. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we're talking about the Sierra here. This is the pickup truck. Starts with the Pro, goes to the SLE, then to the Elevation, then the SLT, the AT4, the AT4X, the Denali, and the Denali Ultimate. So if you can't find a trim level, then you need to go to somebody else because they got 8 of them.
You get a bunch.
The review trim level is the 1500 Denali Ultimate Diesel Crew Cab with the short box. You can't even get that on one line. No. This is called a standard pickup truck, according to your U.S. government. Passengers and driver, 5 altogether. The Pro will seat 6 with the front bench. Understand that the Pro is the work truck.
Okay.
In some levels, they call it the WT.
Oh, yeah.
The work truck. Work truck. All right. That's the stripper model in our language.
I like stripper better than work truck.
Why don't they just name it that? And put
many letters.
And put that girl that does one of those poses with their legs.
Oh yeah, like you see on
the back of the mud flaps. On the back of mud flaps.
That's what
That's an actual girl of silhouette of an actual girl.
Okay.
I read that somewhere.
so I've heard, huh?
Back to the review.
All right. No changes, really, to speak of from last model year. The options include 3 cabs, a regular, a double, and a crew, 3 beds, depending on the cab, and 4 engines.
Wow.
That's a
variety.
That's like 10
different things that you can get. Here's the deal. If you're going to spend $80,000, or in this case, $85,000 on a truck, order it. Mm-hmm. That way, if you want a different rear axle in there with different gear ratios, you can get that. If you whatever you want, order it the way that you want it because you're spending $85,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. Exterior features. This is a gargantuan half-ton pickup truck. that will probably not fit in anybody's garage. So take that into consideration.
Yeah, I think it was huge.
This would be one of those deals where you'd want to go ahead and have a carport made in front of the garage because it ain't fitting in the garage. Massive chrome grille with a hockey stick side slathering on there. Daytime running lights on it. Also kind of mirrors that hockey stick thing. We had a huge 20-inch smoky chrome wheel option. Retractable running boards is a nice feature, what I liked. The subtle body side sculpting, I like that. I also enjoyed the multi Pro tailgate that comes with the Denali Ultimate trim. So they've included that. Used to be $10,000. I don't know how much the thing cost. A lot of money to have that multi-pro, but that's the way to go with that tailgate.
Absolutely.
What could use improvement? I don't know. They've thrown the kitchen sink at this thing. You could probably order that too. Interior highlights. Well laid out dash with conservative instrument cluster pod. Big infotainment screen now that's easy to maneuver through. Top-notch leather seating with adjustability. Big shift knob on the console. Takes up too much room. Period.
Okay.
Gobs of cubbies and storage throughout the cabin. What I liked about it, the attention to the detailed stitching and the ultimate badging that's also on the seat. What could use improvement? Nothing. This is GM at its best. 3-liter inline 6-cylinder diesel engine, 305 horsepower, but 495 pound-feet of torque with a 10-speed automatic transmission. Towing, 8,700 pounds. Hauling, 1,380. 23 miles per gallon city, 27 on the highway for a combined of 24. I got 25.4 miles per gallon over 451.8 miles. If you're going to keep this thing for a while, you'll probably get your money back on the up pricing on the diesel engine. What I liked about it, smooth, quiet power with big, big torque. And what could use improvement? Nothing. Engine rocks is my note. Ride and handling, smoother than you'd think for this massive thing. The tester was unloaded. In other words, I wasn't hauling anything and I wasn't towing anything. What could use improvement? Suspension adjustability. Base trim price, $82,500. Prices tested $85,400. Base model price $43,400 for the Pro entry-level version. The other entry-level versions include the Ford F-150 starting at $43,500, the Ram 1500 for $41,300, and the Toyota for $42,000. So, and that's my review of the 2024 GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate 1500 Diesel Crew Cab with the short box.
The only thing that does not appeal to me on that vehicle is the grille. They never have, through the whole life of that GMC version, the grille is my issue.
I agree with you. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We are back after this quick break.
Time now for this hour's car review. This week, I had the chance to drive this 2025 Chevrolet Blazer. This is the RS version. It's an EV, and it is all-wheel drive. Now, this vehicle was introduced in 2024. For 25, they've made a few more changes to it. Take 5. Since this is an EV, the stylist can do a few things different across the front and make things a little more aerodynamic, kind of smooth some things out. But they really have gone to the thin headlights, and they put an additional light bar all the way across the front so that the Chevrolet emblem also included in that lights up as well. Makes a really cool look in the dark. Now, coming down the side, we're going to see that there are some vents. We're going to see this nice 21-inch aluminum wheels that we're rolling on. Got a black treatment on the caps for the side mirrors, roof rails, all the cladding around the wheels, even across to the back bumpers. With the rear hatch open, we've got some cargo space here. We've even got some storage underneath the floor. Lift it up, you're going to find some places to put some dry storage. You're also going to find this is where your cables can be to do your charging. There is no spare tire. Chevrolet says this vehicle comes with self-sealing tires on it. So
up to a 1/4-inch puncture is supposed to be able to self-seal and continue on the road. Inside, the driver's got a nice 11-inch screen that he can configure, particularly using the easy-to-reach buttons that are on the steering wheel. Now, over on the center stack, or in the center, you're going to find a 17.1-inch infotainment type screen. Now, this is where you're going to find all your controls for your convenience, your navigation, all the things you're going to do that you might be looking for buttons for, but they're all going to be down inside here, inside this screen. Now, there are some buttons right here, as well as some kind of, to me, very retro looking air conditioning vents, but I really like them. There's also another storage compartment up here in the front. Got 2 USB-C ports on them. Now, there's no USB-A's that I could find any place, so you either need an adapter or you've got to come on up to the new stuff. Got 2 cup holders up here, and we've got a wireless phone charger here. Now, this works really well. And then we have another USB-C port in the deeper storage well of the center console. Again, this red and black's kind of striking, but it looks really good actually whenever you get into it and you get past the initial kind of a shock of it. We got a fold down armrest in the rear seat, as well as the rear seats that do fold down. Talked about some of the styling touches on this RS package with the black and blue trim in particular. And one of the things we wanted to note was there's a touch point right here, and this is how you get to your charging cable. It's much like a fuel filler door that pops open, except this one obviously lowers itself. Got a place to plug in. And then when you're finished, to seal it back against the elements, because you're obviously going to get some rain and stuff going down the road, a button puts it all back together. The 2025 Chevrolet Blazer RS EV all-wheel drive. Now, this is an EV, so it's a little bit heavier. It rolls on some nice 21-inch tires. So when you get it out on the highway, it's very compliant handling. It's not really a boat by any means, but it handles the road imperfections really well. And it's quiet. It's very quiet. Automatically, as an EV, it's going to be a little bit quieter, but it's surprisingly quiet. And in town, it's easy to handle, easy to maneuver. It's got a nice size to it. It's easy to park. The steering is very responsive. Just really nice to get around. And it's got some really nice styling to it. The color, get a lot of comments on the color of it and the styling of it. This is my review of the Chevrolet Blazer RS all-wheel drive EV.
All right, it's time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive.
No, I thought it was Mike's.
No, it's Don's.
Oh, well then I better back this up.
Don said it was mine, but on the schedule, it's Don's.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. See?
Yep.
Yeah, right there.
So
Don's.
you have to go by what he reads, not what he says.
Yeah. So I had a chance to drive the 2024 Ford Ranger. It comes in these trim levels: XL, XLT, Lariat, and Raptor. Did you know that they make a Ranger Raptor?
I did not.
No.
The one that I had is the Super Crew 4x4 Lariat, which is the top of the line for the regular Ranger. Compact pickup truck, seats 5, including the driver. Yes, it is a crew cab. All new sheet metal. This is the 5th generation of the Ranger. Exterior features include, well, one of the best-looking compact pickups around, I think. Sharp-looking grille with subtle side badges. Wheel and tire combo looks great on this. Door crease adds to its upscale look. What I liked about it, how the Ranger mimics the F-150, but with a smaller stature.
Yeah.
What could use improvement? Well, prices rising exponentially with the upper trim. Somebody go out there and tell that boy to quiet it down, would you?
Yeah.
Prices rise exponentially with the upper trim levels. If you want to get into the Raptor, you're talking about some serious money right there. Interior highlights: Tesla-like optional infotainment screen is the centerpiece to the interior. Great cloth seats, yes. Leather's available for you people that don't know how to deal with the heat in Houston, Texas. Awesome dash layout, well designed. Now, as far as the bed size, they only come in one bed size and one cab, and that's the 4-door, the crew cab.
Yeah.
What I liked about it, the design. It's really nice looking. If you have not seen one, I encourage you, if you're in the market for what we call a mid-size pickup truck, to go and check it out. What could use improvement? More interior color, like the Raptor has. Just a little bit more color, I think, would be a little splash. Good.
Accents.
Yeah. Comes with a 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine that turns out 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Tow rating 7,500 pounds, haul rating 1,800 pounds. So this is a workhorse. This is a body on frame. This is not like the Maverick. 21 miles per gallon city, 25 highway for combined to 22 is what it's rated for. I got 22 over 487.5 miles. What I liked about it, plenty of power. If you need more, there is a 3-liter V6 still available at 405 horsepower. Yeah.
Wow.
That. I don't know what you'd do with that, but okay.
Did you say turbo or no? Just a V6.
V6. Ride and handling, pretty smooth for an unloaded pickup truck. What could use improvement? Maybe an optional air ride suspension, but you start adding that kind of thing and you start increasing the price of it.
Yep.
And price is important. Base trim price, $32,670, so it's not cheap. That's the base. Price is tested, $43,630. Now that's the top of the line Lariat, just one below the Raptor. You don't even want to know how much the Raptor is. Base model price, $39,565. So with that base model price in mind, competitors include the Chevy Colorado for $31,095, Toyota Tacoma for $33,700, and the Honda Ridgeline, $39,750. And that is my review of the 2024 Ford Ranger Super Crew 4x4 Lariat with the 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine.
Very good.
Yeah, I think that's it's kind of like the Ranger's always been out there. So
yeah, well, they've done the improvements, made it a little bit bigger, which
so that's the reason the Maverick comes in a little bit smaller. Yeah, so it's a nice size.
I think so too. I liked it very much. What could use improvement? Well, you pick it, because I just didn't make it up, but a little bit more splash on the interior. But remember, it is a truck. And I know people now have limousine trucks.
Exactly.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address here is info@nwheeltime.com.